Well, good evening, everybody. It is John from WrestleScope TV. Thank you for hanging in here with me. And this is not how I hoped to be returning to doing a live stream, but there's been some big news today, and we've got to get right into it. First of all, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Comments are open, folks. Let's keep it appropriate here if we can. But as always, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, please. Also, check us out on all of our social media on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, TikTok, and everywhere else we may be. I'm going to do my best to stay on point with comments here, but let's just jump right into it. We thought we were done with the allegations against Vince McMahon, and everything had gone away. But now it has come to light today in a story from the Wall Street Journal, who was on top of everything that happened before. All the other allegations that came out before, the Wall Street Journal was on top of it. But Janelle Grant is the plaintiff in the case. Now, Janelle Grant is a former employee of WWE, of the corporate offices, of the main offices formerly in Stamford, Connecticut. And she was one of the women that had signed a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA, based on things that had happened previously. And part of the NDA deal, obviously, she's not meant to talk about anything, but she was one of those women that got I guess you could say, a payoff, the hush money, whatever it may be. Well, she was able to file this federal lawsuit in Connecticut in court because, according to the reports, Vince McMahon has not been paying her the agreed upon money that she was supposed to receive for signing the NDA. So let's get this right out there. Eric, did I read any of the texts? Unfortunately, yes. I saw the screenshots of the text, and I'm not going to get into details here on it. If you want to go search for it yourself, you're more than welcome to. I'm not even going to get into major details of the complaint because it's disturbing. It is disturbing, but let's just put it right out there, folks, that what is in this complaint, and Vincent Kennedy McMahon and John Laurinaitis are both named in this complaint as defendants. And here, actually, I can show you, I can at least show you this. Let's see if it'll allow me. It's been a while since I've done this. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I want. That's what I want. Here we go. And I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's not coming up on the screen. There we go. This is just the first page of the complaint, and you can see there in the complaint, the defendants are World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated, the WWE, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and John Laurinaitis. And fortunately, this is just preliminary things that are in here. I'm not going to get into the more heated details of things, but everything that's stated in here happened from 2019 to 2021. So I had stated this on Twitter earlier today that, hey, this isn't just this wasn't a late 80s, the 90s, early 2000s. This was within the last 4 years that this happened. Yes, Eric, they are horrible. They are repulsive. Honestly, I don't encourage anybody to read any of this stuff because it's just disturbing, and it goes beyond physical relationships. It goes beyond having an affair. It goes to the point, and I can honestly say this: if even 50% of what is in this complaint is true, Vince McMahon can be charged with sex trafficking. Okay? Plain and simple, Vince McMahon can be charged with sex trafficking. And what it comes down to, without getting into the graphic details of things here, and I apologize for my friends on TikTok, I can't share my screens here as I am on YouTube and Twitch. But basically, Miss Grant, who is the plaintiff here, was abused, was tormented, was just a multitude of different things by McMahon, by Laurinaitis, and other people. Now, there have been some, they're all over the place. There are reports because in this report, and I'd have to dig through, and I'm not going to do it right now, that there is mention of a WWE superstar. That WWE superstar is not named in the complaint. The name is already out there. I am not going to talk about it because, again, this is somebody that has not been named in the complaint. It's pretty easy to tell who they're talking about, but through the description that is given, realistically, it's one person. Let's just put it that way. And I'm not going to mention that name because, again, this person has not been named formally in the complaint. And I'm not going to be one of those content creators that just goes out there and blasphemes somebody. But if you want to know the name, it's out there, okay? Plain and simple, it is out there. I don't even want to go into the full details. This is a 67-page complaint. Now, if you've ever seen lawsuit complaints, obviously it makes sense that this is happening. But over the course of 2.5 to 3 years, there's a statement here in line 20. As one example of McMahon's extreme depravity, I'm just going to leave it there. This might be the most disturbing of everything that is in here. But it goes on to state, this went on for 2.5 years. Here's another statement. This is coming directly from, and I'm not going to show it on the screen because I'm trying to be careful that there's not too much detail. Actually, I think I'm safe to show you folks. Yeah, I can show you this page. Again, I'm just trying to be as safe as possible with showing things. And this is the official complaint that was filed in federal court in Connecticut today. And I'm not sure why there's such a delay here in showing the screens. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Okay. So even after pushing Miss Grant out of the company and muzzling her with an NDA, McMahon continued efforts to exploit her, including attempting to traffic her. There it goes. Traffic her to a WWE star who would be in New York City for a live event and taping in March 2022. So this is leading up to WrestleMania 38. Understandably, defendant's predatory conduct has left Miss Grant crippled both physically and mentally, including from debilitating symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and suicidal ideation. These symptoms led to her termination from her subsequent job running her building's operations due to her inability to leave her home for weeks at a time. Despite McMahon's promise of reputational protection, WWE appears to have leaked information that led to the public disclosure of her name by a media blogger who cited a source in WWE with direct knowledge of the situation, which upon information and belief was an overt intimidation tactic aimed at Miss Grant. I believe that this is actually referring to things that had happened previously. WWE has also attempted to sweep the matter under the rug following media reports that McMahon was involved in a hush money payment scandal. WWE released a statement in June 2022 to announce that a special committee of its board of directors was investigating the alleged misconduct in appointing Stephanie McMahon as interim CEO and interim chairwoman. Okay, but again, even after signing the NDA, reportedly, and I'm going to continue to say reportedly, Vince McMahon was still harassing this woman. Now, a statement came out, and I'm going to show you this tweet here. A statement came out just a little while ago, actually within the last 2 hours, from a spokesperson, for Vince McMahon. It's just, this whole thing is just bothering me so much. This lawsuit is replete with lies, obscene made-up instances that never occurred, and a vindictive distortion of the truth. He will vigorously defend himself. This coming from Deadline. Okay, personal opinion here. If all of this is lies, if it's all a distortion of the truth, if it's all made up, why was this woman forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement? And why was Vince McMahon paying her hush money? Okay. Can somebody explain that to me? I don't think anybody can. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Smurfy Tunes. Yeah. We're just talking about that right now. Right now. So, I'm not a lawyer, Brian. I don't know that. But again, as I stated at the beginning, the NDA legally, I believe, went out the window because McMahon did not make the payments according to the NDA. So in essence, it's a breach of contract. Again, I am not a lawyer and I do not play one on television, but that's just my opinion. I don't think this woman would have come out with this lawsuit if she was not advised by attorneys of what the ramifications are for this. So obviously she knows what she's doing. But all that being said, this is very disturbing. It's disturbing news that is out right now. And based on the timeline of this and reading through some of the things here, there were situations. It wasn't just McMahon. It wasn't just Laurinaitis. It wasn't just the unnamed, and let me get this out of here, the unnamed WWE superstar. There are more people involved. There is a point in this filing that it is mentioned that McMahon showed explicit pictures of this woman to a group of 12 workers within WWE. Was that backstage workers? Was that wrestlers? Was that office people? Not 100% sure, but let's see. Okay, we got somebody we need to get out of here. We'll just leave it for now in the comments. This story, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This really is just the tip of the iceberg. It's disturbing what is in this story. I mean, it is, if you thought the things that came out previously about Vince McMahon were bad, this is so much worse. And it comes at a time where this has been a bizarre week for WWE, because you have the announcement of Monday Night Raw moving to Netflix in January of 2025. You have the announcement today, earlier, actually may have come out last night, that the USA Network will not do a temporary extension of their deal with Monday Night Raw. So their deal ends in October. So as of right now, Raw does not have a home from October to January 1. The WWE network internationally is going to be getting shut down when the deal with Netflix starts. Then you have the announcement that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has become part of the TKO board. And there actually was a second gentleman that was named to the board as well. That got swept under the rug. And then the news over the weekend that Kevin Patrick was removed as the voice of SmackDown. And then the news this morning, literally an hour before the Vince McMahon bombshell, that Kevin Patrick had been released from WWE. He had been fired. So, and then there's the whole thing with Justin Barrasso from Sports Illustrated, who basically lied. He put out a fake narrative of things that were supposed to be happening at WrestleMania, that he either got played by somebody within WWE, which, based on what came out today, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody within WWE knew that this lawsuit was coming, and they basically used Justin Barrasso as a scapegoat to attempt to cover things up. But obviously that didn't work, did it? No, it didn't. Smurfy, that's the big question. And I get the feeling as this goes further along, there's more skeletons in the closet. There's more bodies to be dug up. Okay. This is going to be like nothing we've ever seen in the world of professional wrestling before. You couldn't write this as a demented, HBO special kind of timeline kind of thing. And then you add into it the, I'd forgotten about all the things that happened to the late Ashley Massaro. And I don't know if it was today that the news got released of what happened to her on one of the trips to overseas. I believe it was Saudi Arabia, or it was, I believe it was for a tribute for the troops when they still did those overseas. That, and I don't have the full detail of the story. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up here real quick on Twitter. But I mean, the story is just awful. She had come out prior to her death, talking about sexual abuse and other things that had been happening to her while she was in the WWE. And let's see. Oh, here we go. Actually, it was an affidavit that was, this is from 2019. So this is actually right before all of this stuff happened with Janelle Grant. And I'm not going to get into the details here because, again, this one too is just massively disturbing, what happened to Ashley Massaro. And the fact that she was treated this way, this happened to her, this happened on a military base, and then the WWE basically swept it under the rug. They swept it under the rug. And I mean, it is awful. And you could go out and search this one as well if you want. I'm telling you, I need a massive cleansing after reading all of the things that I read today surrounding both of these. Oh yeah, the plane ride from hell, that one as well. It is obviously an issue with the culture in WWE, and I think it is safe for us to say at this point in time, it was the culture under Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis. it appears from the outside looking in that culture has changed now that, Nick Khan is in charge, Paul Levesque is in charge. Obviously, TKO is part of it. Yes. And again, Eric, nothing on that has been officially confirmed. It is, but if you read the description of who the person is, it's kind of hard not to pinpoint one person, right? I mean, there's only one guy. If they went a little bit more broad based, it could have been 2 or 3 different people, but they were very specific in this description of this person, and it's hard not to. Yes, all over a contract negotiation. And I've got so many comments I could make about this, and I'm not going to right now. Yes, but the problem is, now that this is out here, and WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, was named as a defendant in this case, even if TKO Holdings decides to jettison Vince McMahon, kick him to the door, just burn every bridge with him, the WWE name still is involved with this lawsuit, and they're not just going to get rid of it. And what's worse for WWE right now is, they're going into the Royal Rumble. We're going into WrestleMania season. This is supposed to be the biggest season for World Wrestling Entertainment. And now, once again, it's getting overshadowed by the absolutely disgusting, depraved, reprehensible actions of reported actions of Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. Yes, too many dark clouds at this point. I apologize that I keep saying reported, allegations, reportedly, because even though the lawsuit has been filed, it is one person stating that another person did this. And please do not misunderstand this. I am not saying that I am backing Vince McMahon, because we know the truth of a lot of things that have come out about him. But again, in this case, you're innocent until proven guilty. That's just the way the law in the United States is supposed to work. Now, again, I am not backing up Vince McMahon. I am not trying to give my support to him, because for years I have not been a fan of his. When the initial reports came out a couple of years ago, I was just absolutely sickened by it, by what he had done. And this, but again, yep, usually when this happens, others follow soon. I thought it was going to happen with the last set, that more people were going to get thrown under the bus for this, and it didn't happen. And I think a lot of it had to do with the NDAs that were signed. I think the door is going to get completely blown open. Thank you very much. Yeah, I am trying to address this in a professional manner as best as I can. I appreciate that. And I apologize to TikTok that I was planning on TikToking on my iPad, and for whatever reason, it's not working tonight. So I'm on my phone. It's a little bit harder for me to read the comments there. All right. So Eric, what's going to happen to the superstars that are contracted with WWE if this all blows up? Nothing is going to happen. This is not going to be the death knell of World Wrestling Entertainment. I think had they not come into this merger with TKO Holdings with the UFC, it's possible it could have taken them out. If Vince McMahon was still the top dog, if Nick Khan wasn't where he is, if Ari Emanuel isn't where he is in the organization, I don't think anything's going to happen to contracted superstars at this point in time. Yeah, I had to point out to somebody on Twitter, and I guess I'm showing my age now. Take a look at the Attitude Era. Take a look at some of the things that were put on television that were promoted by Vince McMahon. You know, you could tell he was a depraved individual, but yeah, looking back on things, oh my goodness, it just, yeah. I don't want to say I shouldn't be surprised by anything that comes out, but again, if you have read even 2 pages of this filing, you will be sick to your stomach. I mean, I was reading it while I was at work today, during downtimes at work, and I could not believe what I was reading. I just couldn't believe it. Like, and then you add in the affidavit about Ashley Massaro, what happened with her, and that was heartbreaking as well. Yeah, I haven't read the entire thing, and I probably will read through all 67 pages. I mean, there's certain things I'm going to skip. I mean, they've got a lot of the legalese in here, but like the factual, they put it factual allegations, just so I can speak on this more as we get further down the road with this. But this is something that, yeah, I don't want to share it. I don't want to put it out there. I'm going to let other people share these things, because it's just, it's absolutely disgusting. That's the only way I can put it. It is just absolutely disgusting. Oh, here's the other thing I wanted to share. I do need to share this one. So, earlier this afternoon, a spokesperson from TKO Group Holdings, the parent company of WWE and UFC, put out this statement right here. We'll get this up on the screen. A spokesperson for TKO Group Holdings, the parent company of WWE and UFC, said in a statement, Mr. McMahon does not control, and it's funny, it almost sounds like it's a storyline. Mr. McMahon does not control TKO, nor does he oversee the day-to-day operations of WWE. While this matter predates our TKO executive team's tenure at the company, we take Ms. Grant's horrific allegations very seriously and are addressing this matter internally. Okay, so as somebody that has previously worked in media, I worked in print and I worked in radio. I think what is going to happen if an announcement about TKO Group Holdings and Vince McMahon comes out, it is going to come out late tomorrow, possibly after 4 p.m. Central Time, after stock markets close. Because Friday afternoons are well known as a media dump day. And that is used to basically throw stories out, hide stories that you want kind of overshadowed by things. And they would do it later in the day too, because you want to, sorry, I'm just typing something in here. Here we go. You don't want it to be affected by on the stock market. So let's take a look at this real quick. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. And give me a second. I'm going to be getting out of here in just a couple minutes because I want to be respectful to TNA Impact Wrestling, and I really wanted to watch the show tonight. So this is the details as of 5:10 p.m. Eastern Time. A market summary of TKO Holdings. And this morning they started out at $88.67. At closing, they only closed down 40 cents, 87.51. But do you see all these? They dropped at one point down to 87.20, then 87.02. There was a lot of movement here. A lot of movement in the stock. Not as much as I would have thought. I would have thought there would have been a bigger drop in stock price. Now it's stating, okay, at 5:15 it went back up to, in aftermarket trading, it went back up to 88.51. At one point it actually spiked up. Hold on, I'm trying to get to this here. It spiked up to $89, which I don't quite understand, but I wouldn't be shocked again if TKO Holdings, Michael, how are you doing? Good to see you. If TKO Holdings makes an announcement at some point in time tomorrow that they had, now obviously legally there are things that they have to put together because the amount of stock he holds in TKO and so many other things, it may take a little while for them to be able to do something. Did TKO Holdings know that this was coming? I don't think they were blindsided by it, but then again, maybe they were. I still believe that, the announcement of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on Monday was a preliminary move on their part to, they must have gotten wind of something coming down the pipeline. And again, I'm just speculating here. I am just speculating on this. It's hard to say. Well, I'm not going to say anything about the family yet because how much did Linda know? How much did Shane know? How much did Steph know? We don't know. They weren't named in the complaint. So I'm not going to say if I feel bad for them or not. Okay? And now the fact that we're getting into the neighborhood of, well, superstars are involved now. Like, oh man, this is a can of worms this is the Pandora's box that they're never going to be able to close. And I have a couple of hopes here. One, and this is probably the biggest one, as a wrestling fan, I really hope Tony Khan keeps his mouth shut. I really hope Tony Khan does not jump on Twitter. And I haven't even looked at his Twitter today. I don't think he's dumb enough to go out and start spouting off about anything like this. And I'm actually looking at his Twitter right now. He hasn't posted anything today. Amazingly, he has not posted anything today, thankfully. Obviously for the woman that Miss Grant that put in these allegations, I pray for her. I pray for her that, mentally and physically that she's able to finally overcome all of this. Though, even if one of these allegations is true, over the multitude of allegations that are in here, I don't know if she'd ever be able to overcome this. I'm just scrolling through this, and it's just, oh, it is absolutely reprehensible what happened. Reportedly. Again, I do have to say reportedly. Yeah. We're not gonna. That's for a whole nother time. That's another time. That's another time. Honestly, Eric Bryan, the McMahon family has suffered enough. Whether they knew things that were going on or not, they have suffered enough already. And just, yes, yeah, if more step forward, and I think, I don't think it's a matter of more people stepping forward. I think it's a matter of more names being released. Again, the thing is with here, I don't remember just how many non-disclosure agreements were signed in this situation. And the only way that more could come out, if it's people that signed NDAs, is if Vince McMahon was not paying those people as well. Which, if he's not, he is the stupidest man on the planet. Okay? He had, and again, I am not, supporting anything he did, but he had his golden get out of jail free ticket with these NDAs and with these payments he made, that, these women, these people can't say anything, nothing, as long as he's paying the money. And with as much money as he has, he just sold off how many millions of dollars worth of TKO stock 2 months ago. The guy has money. And because he's so arrogant, or, great point there on TikTok. Wonder if this contributed to the exit of his longtime attorney, Jerry McDivitt. Wait, I got his name right, McDivitt, right? Yeah. Yes, he stepped away after being the decades and decades long attorney, not just for Vince McMahon, but for WWE. He was the one, he was there during the steroid trials. He is the one that got Vince McMahon out of all that trouble. And he got to the point where he was just at the age, he saw all this stuff coming down the pipeline. Like, I can't do this anymore. I'm too old for this crap. He had to have known what was happening. He had, as his attorney, who can't say, see, I'm not going to comment on that one. I'm not going to put that on YouTube. Believe what you want. Jay's saying that doesn't believe that the redacted name did anything. I'm not going to say yay or nay, but I don't know. I don't know. This is really hard to talk about. It really, truly is hard to talk about because of just the scope and the nature of all of this stuff. If you're just tuning in right now, let me backtrack a little bit here. There was a legal filing today in federal court, United States District Court in the District of Connecticut, by Janelle Grant. And we can put that name out there because, it's on the court filings. She is the plaintiff. She is a former employee of World Wrestling Entertainment. She was one of the women that signed a non-disclosure agreement last year over all of these allegations against Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. John Laurinaitis is also named in this. World Wrestling Entertainment, Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, all named in this. And this is from a period of March 2019 until some point in time in 2021. There was basically the allegations are sexual in nature. I am not going to get into the full details again because there's a lot of disturbing things here. But this is the latest bombshell. Realistically, it's kind of a follow-up in a way, if you think about it, from what happened in the last round of these things that led to Vince McMahon leaving the board of directors of WWE, and then the merger with UFC under TKO Group Holdings. But this is the best way to put this. This is a very damning indictment on Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, and a third person that is not specifically named in this lawsuit, but many people, based on a couple of things that were put in here, it's very easy to tell who this person is that's being speculated on, that is being accused. They are not officially in this lawsuit, but and the one thing, it's taken me until now to realize this, and I just saw this on here. On the opening page of this, jury trial demanded for this complaint and this lawsuit. Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, if this goes through, would have to appear in court and testify under oath. That adds a whole nother wrinkle into this whole thing. All of this would be massively public. It would be a court record. Holy cow. That. And I don't think this is one that will get settled out of court. I see this one. Even in the remote chance that these things are not true, Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, if they weren't ruined, their reputations, their names ruined before, this will absolutely ruin them, whether it's true or not. And again, I am not defending Vince McMahon. I am not defending John Laurinaitis. And I am certainly not saying that Janelle Grant is not telling the truth. I'm just saying, we're in a world we cannot believe everything that we see, hear, or read. Okay? Plain and simple. Thank you very much. I have to mention this. Thank you on TikTok for all the likes. Greatly appreciate it. I knew there was a couple of gifts that came in too, and I apologize. I didn't recognize those. Thank you very much. So there's really not much else to talk about with this right now. Again, this is the most serious of allegations that have come out against Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. It's not just McMahon. It is Laurinaitis as well. And now that there is a different body overseeing WWE, he's not going to have those protections anymore. We're not going to see that, that Vince McMahon tour that he did on television, to make himself feel better, after everything. And, the "we support Vince" signs and all that crap. We're not going to see that this time. Nick Khan, Ari Emanuel, the TKO board is not going to let that happen. The other thing, and this is a great question that was brought up earlier today on, I forget whose Twitter stream it was, but with the Royal Rumble coming up this Saturday, usually they do their version of the media scrum. I highly doubt that they are going to have one after the Royal Rumble this weekend. I don't think Triple H is going to want to be out there trying to deflect questions or answer questions or anything related to Vince, because he is going to want the spotlight to be on, okay, who are the winners of the Royal Rumble? Who's going on to main event WrestleMania? Returns, those types of things. He is not going to want those things overshadowed by what his reprehensible father-in-law has done. Wonder how Bryan Danielson is feeling about all this, because keep in mind, John Laurinaitis is the stepfather. Is it stepfather? Yeah. Stepfather of his wife. Gotta wonder how he feels about this. All right. Well, I went 20 minutes longer than I wanted to. Great question. How's positive one? And I am shocked. He always had the radar on of when I was on. Hang on, I'm gonna send a message to my wife to if you guys can see my floor here, I don't know if he's gonna be able to get on camera. So you may have to give me a minute here. I gotta hold on. I gotta move some stuff. I'm turning into Dave Meltzer here with the did I get a new luchador? No. That one, the Ultimo Dragon one. No, I've had that one for a while. It's just been a while since I've been on here. But we're gonna see if we can get him in here real quick. Gotta make sure I didn't lock the studio door. I don't think I did. I don't even know. I think he's still got the positive one mask. I still want to figure out a way the next time AEW is in Milwaukee, and I don't know if Amanda Huber goes on the road at all with the boys, but I want to find out if Brody Jr. would be coming to Milwaukee. And if he does, I'd love to get a picture, -1 and +1 together. I think that would be kind of cool. I may need to check to see if the door is locked. It might be. Or I wonder if he might be in the shower. It's possible he might be in the shower right now. Oh, I think I hear him. What? You're being requested. It's been a long time since he's been on the stream, but +1 is here. Say hello. They're asking how you're doing. How are you doing? Got the thumbs. He's turning more into Orange Cassidy than anything else. Okay. Is dinner done?
I think so.
Okay, because I'm hungry. Anything you'd like to say to? Your biggest fan is here, Eric. So anything you'd like to say to the YouTube, Twitch, TikTok community? No. A man of few words. All right, get out of here. There you go. He made his appearance. Didn't even think of that. Thank you, Eric. All right. Well, I think I'm going to jump out of here. It was so good to get back on here and do a live again. I know it's been a while. I've been trying to post more on YouTube. Obviously, TikTok, I've been doing a lot more. And yep, Orange Cassidy vibes. Yeah, absolutely love it. Oh, thank you, Smurfy. But yeah, it's good. I wish we were talking about something more positive than this, but I knew I had to jump on here and not just do a 3 or 4 minute video. I had to jump on here and talk about this. And it's not about getting, likes, subscribes, clicks, anything like that. This is just something we need to talk about and do it in an environment that's safe for people to talk. Unfortunately, there are some idiots out there. And I've seen, sadly, I have seen some really stupid comments come out today. It's awful. It's just awful. And actually, you know what? One last thing I want to share, and I got to see if I can find it on here. Somebody else had posted this earlier, and here we go. I want to show WrestleOps. WrestleOps had posted this one earlier, and let me see how this will work now. Okay. There we go. That's the one we want. And put that up. Right here. Sexual assault hotlines in the U.S. and England, Scotland, Ireland, Australia. There is a website there. And all of this, I retweeted this on X at TV_wrestle. So please check this out. But if you end up seeing this, please share this. We need to get this information out. There's the RAINN Sexual Assault Hotline, National Human Trafficking Hotline, the National Suicide Hotline, all of these things. Anybody, it doesn't have to be somebody that was involved in a major organization like the WWE or anything like that. It could just be somebody that you work with, somebody in your neighborhood, somebody that you know. If you're dealing with anything like this, and I apologize on TikTok that you can't see this, there is always somebody out there to talk to. You are never alone. And whether it's sexual assault, if it's suicidal thoughts, if it's human trafficking, whatever it may be, there are resources. There are people out there to help you. You are never alone. I think back to, and if you've been following my Instagram, the WrestleScope Instagram, the last few days, I've been in communication with 2 women that have ties to the wrestling world that were both involved with the same gentleman that was abusive to both mentally and physically. Thankfully, they both got out of that relationship over the course of the last couple of years. But this is happening. It's not just Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. This is happening elsewhere. It's happening to other people, and these women, thankfully, are speaking out now about it. They are stepping up. They are speaking out. They are getting their story out. They're getting the message out about this. Whether you're watching this live or if you're watching it on replay, if you've dealt with anything like this, yes, it's difficult to talk about. Yes, there will be those idiots out there that will shame you, that will be negative, but there will be more people there to support you. You cannot hide these things. These stories have to come out. We can't let these things be hidden any longer, because this type of stuff has been going on way too long. We're never going to end up putting it to a stop. But if we can help people by sharing the stories, that's what needs to be done. That's what absolutely needs to be done. All right. Let's go ahead and end this now. Again, I want to just thank all of you for tuning in. Again, please, and I've been saying this a lot this week, especially on TikTok. Please be careful where you are getting your wrestling news from, because there are the reputable organizations out there that do their due diligence, Are they 100% correct all the time? No. But when they make a mistake, they admit it. Okay? Sean Ross Sapp and Jimmy Van over at Fightful Select. Cultaholic Wrestling. Wrestle Talk. Most times Wrestling Observer, Brian Alvarez, Dave Meltzer, and there will be, the anti-Meltzer people out there. I understand, but they do their Raj Giri, they do their due diligence and make sure that they're covering all the bases before they put a story out. Again, are they always right? No, but they admit when they are wrong. There are so many others out there, and they're popping up left and right that are putting out false stories, false narratives, clickbait, all those types of things. And especially in a situation like this where you've got legal allegations against someone, be careful what you're reading, what you're believing, what you're retweeting, things like that. And it's not just in wrestling. I mean, it's just life in general. You don't know what or who you can trust out there. Yes, Twitter comments or something else. It's just been terrible. It really has. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm still going to enjoy the Rumble. I think it's going to be good. I think there's going to be a few disappointments in it. I think Justin Barrasso is going to be once again proved completely wrong. Okay. And I think it's going to set up for WrestleMania well. I am not going to be doing a prediction stream for Royal Rumble. I don't have time between now and then. I may do a reaction stream on Sunday, depending on how the day goes. We'll see. I'm definitely going to post some stuff on TikTok. So definitely follow along on TikTok. TikTok and Twitter are where I am the most active right now. So please definitely head on over to those platforms. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. Greatly appreciate it. You folks are awesome. Hopefully it won't be so long in between live streams again. Okay. We definitely got to do this again very, very soon. I am John. This is WrestleScope TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. And buckle your seatbelts, folks. We're only in the third week of January, and we've had plenty of craziness already. Who knows what the rest of 2024 is going to bring us in the world of wrestling. Have a good night, everybody.